everybody, and welcome to the Scott Show podcast as we do it up on the sports show. I do want to apologize that people who are trying to listen to this live do not get the sports show as we had changed channels, so I do want to apologize for that. I have some big announcements when it comes to the NCAA football playoffs, and it is for Division One. It's Division One AA or Football Championship Series, however you want to take it. So they are announcing the ratings on ESPNU on the 2nd and the 9th. They do have the selection show 11 a.m. on Sunday the 19th on ESPNU. We will actually have a podcast dedicated to the Football Championship subdivision as we get the final bracket for the teams that go on, the 24 teams that move on to the championship field in 2017. Now, here is the breakdown on how that works. We have 24 teams that make the playoffs, 10 automatic qualifiers, and 14 at-large qualifiers. The top 8 teams will be seeded, receive first-round byes, and host the second-round games. So, hell, they get to host their own playoff games, which is cool. I love that. The 16 other teams will bid win bids will host the first round games, which will take place on the 25th. That's Saturday, November 25th. And what we'll do here on the 24th is we will have a live show to talk about all 16 teams. We will do it up as we'll do the subdivision, we'll do Division 2 and Division 3, all in different shows. So the last time you'll probably get a lower division show for this year will be on, it will probably be on the 17th, which we normally drop this show on Friday. So it'll be the 17th of October, of November, and then on Sunday the 19th we will drop the football subdivision playoff bracket, in which we will go through all the games and then highlight, as we go along. So I'm super pumped up about that. Hopefully we'll get some guests on this show. I always say that, and we're always looking for people. So if you guys want to talk about your team, give me a heads up. It's Scott at 102550.net. Very easy email to remember. So we are moving forward. We're going to give you guys a top 10 in each division. First in Division 3, at number 10 we have North Central Illinois, and this is actually from Division3Football.com. So just a heads up, if you guys look at the NCAA list and this list, they are a little bit different. So I just want to give you guys a shout out on that. But this is from Division3.com. We have North Central Illinois 6-1 at number 10. Platteville at number 9, 6-1. They play lacrosse this weekend. We have Delaware Valley at 7-0. Probably one of the teams that I think will go very high in the list. St. John's at 7-1. Linfield at 5-1. Hardin-Simmons at 6-1. Now Hardin-Simmons only losses to the number 1 ranked team. St. Thomas is at 6-1. Oshkosh at 6-0. And they defeated the UW Whitewater last weekend. Mount Union at 7-0, and Mary Hardin Baylor at 7-0. Now, I do have to say, folks, that these upcoming tournaments are going to be huge. There's going to be awesome games coming up, and I think that Mary Hardin Baylor is in it. They could be in it to win it all they want to, but places like Delaware Valley at 7-0, Hardin-Simmons gave them a great game. St. John, St. Thomas, Platteville. I mean, these teams are coming. So just heads up, that's Division 3. There's not a lot of big games in the division this week. There are some that actually will have some implications. I believe in Iowa they have a game in where they will have their first automatic bid. So there are automatic bids for a lot of the conferences. I wish we had that in Division 1. The Bowl Championship Series. So then we go to Division 2, and I got to give a few shout-outs to wonderful schools. because they are great schools and they help us out a lot. First of all, I got to give it out to my hometown team, University of Minnesota Duluth, as they are 6-2 on the season, and then playing at Bemidji State today, I believe, or tomorrow. Also, I got to give a big shout out to West Georgia. They're awesome. Virginia State, Grand Valley, and Sioux Falls, South Dakota, as they do a lot for the 1025-50 Homeless Project. So big shout out to Sioux Falls. All right, and then we got number 10, Indianapolis. Number 9, Texas A&M Commerce. Number 8, Fort Hays. Number 7, Ferris State. Number 6, Midwestern State. Number 5, Shepherd. Number 4, Ashland. Number 3, Minnesota State Mankato. And number 2 is the Illinois University of Pennsylvania. And then number 1 is the Southwest Missouri State Bearcats at 8-0. They are having one hell of a season there in Northwest Missouri. Big shout out to the Bearcats. And I just want to say, this is looking wide open too. But playoffs are coming up. 24 teams make it. And there's still a lot of football to play, folks. So I think they have at least 3 or 4 more games. And then we're looking at the top 10 of the Division 1A or Double A, or the division called the Football Championship Series. And I'm used to saying that. I just don't yet. All right. First of all, has the mighty has fallen. Wolford had fallen from number 5 to number 10 on the list as they lost last week. And then we have South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, at tied with number 8 was Samford. I would love to see Samford and South Dakota State. Got to cheer on my favorite, the Jackrabbits. Number 7 is South Dakota, as they suffered their first loss of the season this week. Then North Carolina A&T at 8-0. They're sneaking up there, folks. They jumped 5 spots. And then we have Sam Houston State, Central Arkansas, Jacksonville State at number 3, North Dakota State at number 2, and still at number 1. And looking down at everybody else with all the first place votes is the Dukes from James Madison. Now, let me tell you something. I love James Madison. I think they're a great school. My heart goes out to them. But you got an amazing playoff coming up, and it's going to be crazy business. So be ready, James Madison. And I know you guys won last year. North Dakota State's knocking on your door. It's going to be one hell of a playoff season. As I am super looking forward to it, super pumped up, ready to go for the playoffs. And we still got lots of football to go, including we got some games this weekend. We got the Maine Black Bears against the William and Mary Tribe in Maine. I love that game. I love the Black Bears of Maine. Great hockey team. Got to give them a heads up in the football too. Why not? And then we have the Liberty Flames at 3-4 on the season against the 1-6 Garner Webb Running Bulldogs, and we'll see how they do there. We have the Columbia Lions against the Yale Bulldogs. I'm surprised not to see Columbia higher on the list. They are 6-0 on the season. We'll see where they land in the playoffs. Then you have Bucknell the Bison at 4-3 against Colgate Raiders. Lehigh and Fordham are going to be facing off. Georgetown and Holy Cross, and that's going to be a great game for teams that really need a big push. So hopefully they get some wins off of that. Illinois State, the Redbirds at 5-2 against Youngstown State Penguins. And I got to give a shout out to Youngstown State. They've had one of the hardest schedules ever. And so big shout out to our good friends at Youngstown State. You guys have had a really, really hard schedule season. 3-4 is not where you should be. So just big shout out to you guys. A big game this week at South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits against the Western Illinois Leathernecks. You guys know who I'm cheering for. We got Southern Utah, the Thunderbirds. I love that name. Against the Northern Colorado Bears. That's in Colorado. Grambling State Tigers, they are at home against the Texas Southern Tigers. Battle of the Tigers, folks. That, make it happen sometimes. The Eastern Illinois Panthers probably have the best logo in the entirety of sports. They'll be facing off against the University of Tennessee Martin Skyhawks. I have a lot of fun with this. Now, the game of the week for me, I got to give a big shout out to our great friends in New Hampshire, the Wildcats. You guys know I have some love for the Wildcats, as that is my team when I play NCAA football. As they are playing off against the number 1 ranked and at home James Madison Dukes. I got to give it up. I want New Hampshire to win that game just because they're my team. And then we have UNI, the Panthers, will be playing the North Dakota State Bison in the Fargo Dome. And that will be definitely a great game. One game with playoff implications right away is the Montana Grizzlies and the Weber State Wildcats, both at 5-2 on the season. Very important game for both teams, as the winner has their foot in the door. So check that game out, as that is on. I'm sorry, I thought that was on TV. Then you have the Southern Illinois Sulkies against the South Dakota Coyotes, 6-1 on the season in the Dakota Dome. That game is going to be awesome. Now, the Governors of Austin Peay actually play a bowl leader right now, and that's the University of Central Florida Knights. We talked about that game on the NCAA show, so check that out there. And one game with teams that really need to win, big push for them, the North Dakota Fighting Hawks against the Portland State Vikings. That game, somebody needs to win that game, for sure. And then we have the last game on the season, and probably the best stadium name of all time. We have the Sam Houston State Bearcats against the Southeastern Louisiana Lions at Strawberry Stadium. I'm totally stealing that place for TCW Fantasy Wrestling, so expect a show in Strawberry Stadium in Louisiana. I'll figure out what city that is later. So, folks, this has been the show that we talk about the lower divisions of the NCAA football. And we talk about the Championship Series, Division 2, Division 3. We got a whole month of football coming up before we get to the great selection shows that we have, which we will break them down in each division and give them their own show to talk about how great the teams are. And we look forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun, folks. So big shout out to all of our great friends in all of our lower division schools. And we will see you guys shortly here on The Scott Show. We got lots of podcasts. Check it out, tinyurl.com/102550, and see all the stuff that we do, all the craziness that we cause. You guys have fun and have a great day, and we'll see you real soon.